Foreign Minister Batsitsek to pay official visit to Thailand. For the news, stay tuned. In cities with populations exceeding 1 million, it's recommended to
artificial turf was laid in Sukhbatur Square for public football and events. Unfortunately, residents of Ulaanbaatar, surrounded by cement roads and metal fences, were content with the artificial turf, highlighting the lack of green spaces. Citizens criticized the limited options, noting that the national park is often their only alternative. I came here from the 16th district, taking 2 to 3 buses, just to spend the day walking here and breathe in some fresh air.
It is advisable to allocate existing spaces and create more green areas to provide people and children with accessible places for leisure and enjoyment. Citizens strongly need green areas, especially in the suburbs where they are lacking. I have to come to the national park with my family because there are no green spaces nearby. In Ulaanbaatar, there are limited options for outings with children and family. Green areas would be highly beneficial.
Research indicates that in 2011, the green area of Ulaanbaatar city was 210 hectares, equivalent to 3.16 square meters per person. By 2018, this had increased to 5.1 square meters per person, totaling 570 hectares. While there has been some increase in green area per person, it remains insufficient compared to global standards. To meet these standards, Ulaanbaatar would require over 5,600 hectares of green area, providing each person with 24 square meters of green space.
For instance, residents of Bayonghoshu expend significant time and resources going to the national park. Redirecting this effort towards accessible green spaces within Ulaanbaatar would foster a stress-free environment and enhance overall well-being. Therefore, integrating green areas into the city's parks is imperative.
Green areas serve a dual purpose beyond aesthetics. They also contribute to environmental cleanliness. Currently, approximately 60% of Ulaanbaatar's population resides in Girk district neighborhoods. Researchers suggest that planting trees is essential for greening these areas and improving the overall environment. There are numerous sources of greenhouse gas emissions worldwide, such as power plants and steam boilers. However, to counteract these emissions, we must create carbon-absorbing sources. Since greenhouse gases cannot be destroyed, planting trees is crucial to enhance absorption. Trees absorb carbon dioxide emitted by various sources through their roots, branches, stems, and leaves, thereby providing us with fresh air, cold oxygen.
In 2023, the Governor's Office distributed over 60,000 tree saplings to 14,300 families as part of the campaign. This year, we will continue monitoring these households and aim to plant approximately a further 30,000 tree saplings in the Girk district neighborhoods and public areas.
A green area is inseparable from urban planning. Today, we mistakenly think that if we only build high-rise buildings, it will be a luxurious and beautiful city. We forget about green areas and children's playgrounds, and we build houses here and there without any proper planning. However, there are not enough green areas to clean our pollution and provide a comfortable environment.
A training session regarding fire extinguisher readiness and recovery procedures was conducted to enhance train safety at the Sukhbatur train crossing in Seling province. The Ulaanbaatar Railway Supply Organization organizes this type of training 4 times a year.
This training was organized following an accident caused by a leak in a liquefied flammable gas container loaded onto a train.
The transportation of volume has significantly increased, leading to a rise in the carriage of various toxic chemical cargoes. This situation poses a considerable risk, highlighting the critical importance of professional team coordination. Today's training was organized within this context to address these challenges effectively. The training focused on assessing the integrity of cargo and trains coming from Russia, as well as on handling situations with high volumes of cargo. It provided valuable insights to ensure the smooth operation of trains arriving from Russia, especially during challenging circumstances.
Due to the transportation of hazardous materials by the Ulaanbaatar Railway, the risk of accidents has increased significantly. As a preventive measure, practice sessions are organized once in every quarter to mitigate these risks.
Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs. Foreign Minister Batsetsik Batmung is visiting Thailand from April 22nd to 24th, 2024 on the invitation of the Thai Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister Parnpree Bahidanakura. This visit holds significance as it coincides with the 50th anniversary of diplomatic ties between Mongolia and the Kingdom of Thailand and making the first ministerial-level visit from Mongolia to Thailand in 14 years. During the visit, Minister Batsetsik will engage in official discussions with the Deputy Prime Minister and hold meetings with the Deputy Prime Minister and Commerce Minister Potam Vichayachai, along with other political and business leaders. Discussions will focus on evaluating the 5 decades of bilateral relations, exploring new avenues to enhance trade, investment and economic collaboration, and addressing regional and international issues of mutual concern. Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. You're watching News Mongolia. Now let's take a look at international news from our partner agencies. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan was greeted by Iraqi President Abdul Latif Rashid in Baghdad on Monday for his first official visit in more than a decade as his country seeks greater cooperation from Iraq in its fight against a Kurdish militant group that has a foothold in northern Iraq.
Other topics also loom large between the two countries, including water supply issues and exports of oil and gas from northern Iraq to Turkey, which have been halted for more than a year. Erdogan's last visit to Iraq was in 2011 when he was Turkey's prime minister. Iraqi government spokesperson Bassem Alavadi said in a statement that Erdogan's visit will be a major starting point in Iraqi-Turkish relations and will include the signing of a deal on a joint approach to security challenges and a strategic agreement on the water file, among other issues. Erdogan has said his country plans to launch a major operation against the Kurdistan Workers' Party or PKK, a Kurdish separatist movement banned in Turkey, and with operations in Iraq during the summer, with the aim of permanently eradicating the threat it poses. Baghdad has complained in the past that Turkish operations against the PKK violated sovereignty but appears to be coming closer to Ankara's stance.
4 people have died and 10 are missing after days of rainfall flooded cities in the Guangdong provinces of southern China, according to Chinese state media. The Chinese Central Meteorological Administration on Monday downgraded the emergency response to storm warnings from orange to yellow, but forecast that heavy rainfall will continue in southern China's Guangdong and Guangxi province.
A river that burst its banks flooded in the city, and rescue efforts have been going on to evacuate about 38,000 residents trapped in a village where the electricity was cut off. Another 30,000 have been evacuated as of Monday morning, according to CCTV. CCTV said April has seen the most rainfall in recorded history. In Shaogan, where one of the 4 deaths was reported, roads were damaged by landslides. The other 3 deaths were in Zhaoqing City, where the flood has been receding. Emergency aid was delivered to some of the remote villages by helicopters. China's Central Meteorological Observatory extended a rainstorm warning through Tuesday evening, with heavy rain expected in large swaths of southern China, including parts of southeastern Guangxi, eastern and southern Guangdong, and southeastern Fujian. Floods affected the neighboring province of Jiangxi. CCTV citing the Jiangxi Provincial Floods Control and Drought Relief Headquarters said 459 people have been evacuated. In Jiangxi, rains and floods have affected 1,500 hectares of crops with a financial loss of over 41 million yuan, equal to $5.7 million.
UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak pledged Monday that the country's first deportation flight to Rwanda could leave in 10 to 12 weeks, as he promised to end the parliamentary deadlock over a key policy promise before an election expected later this year. In April 2022, the UK and Rwanda signed an agreement for the UK to deport people seeking asylum in Britain to Rwanda, known as the Migration and Economic Partnership, or Rwanda Plan.
This is one of the most complex...
Sunak made the comments at a news conference, making his case directly to the public after vowing last week that Parliament would remain in session until the legislation is passed. The House of Commons will take up the bill later in the day, followed by consideration in the House of Lords. Sunak demanded that the unelected House of Lords stop blocking legislation allowing authorities to deport some asylum seekers to Rwanda, as he seeks to make good on a campaign promise to stop the boats that bring migrants to UK illegally. Sunak said that commercial charter planes are booked to carry the asylum seekers, but declined to provide details when asked how many people were expected to be on the flights in coming months.
The next few weeks will be about action. But whilst I'm conscious people want deeds, not words, I'm not going to outline now exactly what will happen when. And there are good operational reasons for this. There is a loud minority who will do anything to disrupt our plan, so we will not be giving away sensitive operational detail which could hinder all the progress made to date. Teams across government need to be able to get on and deliver without interference. They are working flat out to deliver this genuine game changer. The first flight will leave in 10 to 12 weeks. Now, of course, that is later than we wanted, but we have always been clear that processing will take time.
The bill has been stalled for 2 months as it bounced back and forth between the 2 houses of parliament, with the Lords repeatedly offering amendments that were then rejected by the Commons. The Lords don't have the power to kill the legislation, but they must give their assent before it can become law. The governing Conservative Party plans to send some asylum seekers to Rwanda as a deterrent to persuade migrants that it isn't worth the risk of crossing the English Channel on leaky inflatable boats. The plan pursued by 3 prime ministers over the past 2 years has so far been stymied by a series of court rulings and vocal opposition from migrant advocates who say it is illegal and inhumane. The current legislation, known as the Safety of Rwanda Bill, is a response to a Supreme Court decision that blocked the deportation flights because the government couldn't guarantee the safety of migrants sent to Rwanda. After signing a new treaty with Rwanda to beef up protections for migrants, the government proposed the new legislation declaring Rwanda to be a safe country.
Come what may. No foreign court.
Now let's take a look at the global current affairs.
Donald Trump is en route to New York courthouse where opening statements in his historic hush money trial are set to begin. The statements expected Monday will set the stage for weeks of testimony about the former president's personal life and placing his legal troubles at the center of his closely contested campaign against President Joe Biden. Trump is accused of falsifying internal business records as part of an alleged scheme to bury stories he thought might hurt his presidential campaign in 2016. It is the first of Trump's 4 indictments to go to the trial and the first criminal trial against the former U.S. president. Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts of falsifying business records.
Now let's take a look at the weather forecast for Mongolia and the world major cities. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you on Wednesday with more news and updates. Goodbye.